Ladies, Mariah Lopez. What a year she's averaging. Averaging nearly 11 strikeouts per game. That's 5th in the country. She has thrown a combined no-hitter last year. And last time out, 13 strikeouts against UCSB. Matched a career high. Sooners have had 3 dominant pitchers, none more so than this young lady so far.
And she's just trying to, she had a really great outing last week in California, 13 strikeouts, being very dominant in the circle. So get that good start today and hopefully ride some of that momentum from California here to Norman today.
Mean Green go around and play a very representative schedule. This will be the 7th meeting they've had with a top 25 team as Lopez deals a strike to Makawi.
And they've played a tough schedule, and they've peppered a couple really good wins in there. They've got a win over Louisiana, a win over Texas A&M. So they are not playing a Patty's Cake schedule, that is for sure.
Yeah, they run ruled Texas A&M. And then that win over Louisiana was their first win over a top 10 program in 3 years. So things look good under their first-year coach, Rodney DeLong. They're 5-1. They're already into conference play. Sooners don't start conference play until coming up this weekend against Texas Tech. 0-2 to count on Makawi. Foul back, up and over, did not quite reach an awaiting bleacher section. Sold out Marita Hines Field the rest of the way. What incredible support for Patty Gasso and this program. Loyal and true softball fans.
Yeah, it's so awesome. And we get here a couple hours early. There are lines out the gate just waiting for the gates to open up.
And as you walk through, there are about 10 people that want to say hi and hug you as a former player. And it has to be fun and special and rewarding, though, to come back.
No, it's so exciting, and just the fans, the people. This is truly a family from top to bottom. So it's coming back is so fun each time.
Makawi drives this one foul into the bleachers. You see, yes, the bleachers there had to do this last year. It's a good problem to have, and that is you bring in bleachers. Normally, a few years ago it was for the postseason, for regionals, but they are here all the time now to house these capacity crowds.
A lot of people spending spring break with the Sooners today.
That's right. Bouncing ball back up the middle. Grace Lyon ranges over and takes care of Makawi for the first out. Sooner defense best in the country. Not the first time we have said that. Only 22 errors. Fielding percentage 986. Haven't committed an error the last 11 games. And you're talking about some new faces there on the infield in the combo we just saw right there. Grace Lyons to Grace Green, both of whom are freshmen.
Yeah, and having a shortstop who is a freshman and who is doing the things that we are seeing Lyons do, it's impressive. I mean, shortstop, that is a big-time position, especially for a freshman to step in with that type of confidence and do what she's done so far.
And replacing Kelsey Arnold, who was the best defender in the Big 12 for about 3 seasons.
Yeah, those are big, big shoes to fill.
Harley Perella, 329 average. This team can swing it, the Mean Green. Team average nearly 300. And that swung on and missed, just blew it past her.
And a lot of high averages. One thing I think that we're kind of saying is they do have some high strikeout numbers as well. So with that, at times, a lot of their outs are not outs that are being put in play.
Strike 3 called. There is the first strikeout for Lopez.
And she is just hammering the zone. First 2 outs, she is just going right after these Mean Green hitters and really challenging them to swing the bat, put the ball in play, and she just blew that one high and hard right past her.
Hard to beat this team. First in strikeouts to walks ratio, second in ERA nationally, and third in fielding percentage. A little hard to score. This one more in the hole. It's short for Lyons, but she takes care of Lacey Gregory. And Mariah Lopez works a 1-2-3 top of the first. The Sooner batting lineup is coming up next. Sooner softball is presented by Budweiser. 25th season at Oklahoma for Hall of Fame head coach Patty Gasso. Got to take a trip out to her home area, California, last weekend. Sooners going 5-0, and for the game You were asking her, DJ, what she would like to see as they move through this final game in preparation for conference play, and she said execution was the word. Here's the Sooner batting lineup presented by Love's Travel Stops. Clean places, friendly faces. Jocelyn Alo has gotten hot. Sydney Romero and Foley of View. Then Kaylee Clifton, who's the reigning Big 12 Player of the Week. Green, Mendez, Lyons, Elam, and Reagan Rogers on Reagan Rogers night will bat 9th. Jocelyn Alo to lead things off. Line drive and a right. First pitch base hit, Alo. And she stays hot.
Gotta love the aggressiveness. You get steps in the box, coming out, first pitch swinging, just setting the tone for this offense. You gotta love it.
Pitcher is the ace for the Mean Green, Hope Troutwine, sophomore from Pflugerville, Texas, Hendrickson High School. Conference USA All-Freshman team and second team All-Conference a year ago when she had 15 wins and off to a good start, 10-2 this year.
She's been such a huge part of North Texas's success so far this season, and just does a really good job of keeping them, giving her team an opportunity to win. She's got that ERA under 2 and is doing a pretty good job so far this season.
Sid Romero riding a 13-game hitting streak, and the numbers over the course of that streak are pretty eye-catching. She is 24 out of 48 with 5 home runs, 12 runs batted in, and 17 runs scored.
Gotta love, she's right now 9 home runs coming out of the 2-hole. You know, it's so awesome to see, and on top of just that consistency.
Came in on her hands, off of her fists. It's a fair ball, and Troutwine is just going to take that one to the bag. I beg your pardon, that is Taylor Evans, the first baseman. So Romero is out. Unfortunate, just got in on the bat handle.
Yeah, I think she thought it may have hit her. There, right there in the chest, but the umpire's always right?
Yep. One down, and here is Foley of View. Alo takes second base on the play. Aviu has been hot as well. 8 hits in her last 3 games. She made the commitment to winning a starting role for her senior season. Got in the best shape of her life, and it is really paying off for the Oceanside, California senior.
You can tell she came back as a senior on a mission, wanting to really, as wonderful as a career as she has had, leave here on a high note and leave that legacy that her and the rest of these seniors have built here over the last 4 years. But to make that commitment as an upperclassman.
Tailing fly ball toward Gerke, the left fielder. 2 down. Alo will stay put at second. That'll bring in Kaylee Clifton. Quickly, a look at the defense. Gerke, you just saw catch that fly ball in left. Young and Rebar, the outfield. Perella, Gregory, McCowie at second base, and Taylor Evans at first. Nicole Achotnicki is the catcher. Mean Green have committed 42 errors. And here is your Big 12 Conference Player of the Week, Kaylee Clifton. Surprised me, that's the first time that she's won that award in her career.
If someone didn't give me proof of that, I wouldn't believe that.
It may not be true. I didn't check. I just read the press release.
Very well deserved after that week in L.A.
She went 7 of 14, 9 runs scored, 7 runs driven in. And Kaylee's riding a 7-game hitting streak. Oklahoma's career leader in hit by pitch. The All Bruise team.
That's a trip to first, free pass to first base.
That's right. By any means necessary.
That is right.
Alo had a base hit here in the inning. She's in second with 2 down. Mariah Lopez pitching a 1-2-3 top of the first for the Sooners. This one is smoked over the head of the left fielder, Gerke, and off the wall. She'll be held to a single. She hit it so hard. Alo scores, though, and the Sooners have a 1-0 lead.
That pitch was absolutely smoked. You see Kaylee Clifton, that ball hit so hard, I think the left fielder almost thought she was going to have a shot to catch it, but she hit it so hard, had that backspin and just tailing right over her head. Yes, it did.
Like a 5-iron. There may be a dent out there in the fence as well, as Grace Green stands in. Clifton at first base and 2 down. RBI number 21 for Kaylee Clifton, and she's on the move. It's a one-hop throw by Otnicki, and safe.
You gotta love the aggressiveness. You know, starting the game, bottom of the first, coming out, lining the first pitch, coming up with the RBI, stealing with 2 outs. It's just putting pressure, applying pressure from the very first pitch of the game.
5th stolen base in as many tries this year for Kaylee Clifton. And she's in scoring position for Green. 1-0 from Troutwine. A roller in the hole at short. Gregory reaches it, but cannot make the throw in time. It'll be an infield hit for Grace Green, and the Sooners have runners at the corners.
Just finding that little hole there in the 5-6. You gotta love the hustle down the line.
See Kalani Ricketts over there coaching first base, giving instructions to Grace Green. Sooners have a run on 3 hits here in the inning. And now Nicole Mendez. She's 9 of her last 18. Down in that low crouch. First pitch outside from Troutwine.
You know, coming off this big week last week in California, going up and down this lineup, you hear, you know, 9 of your last 18. Clifton, 7 for 14. It's just there's consistency up and down the lineup, and you kind of really starting to hit that stride here mid-season offensively.
A couple of minor adjustments in the lineup, and one of those is Alo is up in the leadoff spot. And Patty Gasso saying, just want her up there to get more swings, more at-bats. You feel like maybe it's made Alo a little more aggressive being up there.
Yeah, I think so. And she's, you know, like you said, seeing more pitches, getting more at-bats, but getting comfortable with what she's doing, being able to kind of have that starting the game, swinging first pitch, you know, having a little bit more fun with it. Not that she doesn't have fun. She always has fun. But
Mendez pulls this one into right field. It chases in Clifton. Grace Green to third. The throw there gets away, but Green's going to have to stay put. It'll be an RBI single for Nicole Mendez, who takes second base as well on that throw. And the Sooners lead 2-0.
Sooners really putting the pressure on. You see that pitch up in the zone a little bit. And she really did a great job of reading the pitch and being able to get that RBI.
And we'll have an early trip to the circle here. Rodney DeLong, pitching coach Jamie Allred. That throw nearly went into the Sooner dugout. They've got the nets now on the front of the dugout. That keeps the ball from going in there these days.
Sometimes it's a good thing, and you know, right here it may have cost a run a bit, but you know, this situation Troutwine hasn't seen herself in too much so far. You know, she's been pretty consistent, you know, but giving up 2 runs early here in the first, we're kind of need to see her settle down a little bit if the Mean Green want to stay in this game.
Sooners 2 runs on 4 hits here in the first inning. And Grace Lyons will be the batter. RBI singles from Kaylee Clifton and Nicole Mendez plating the Sooner runs. Now Grace Lyons. Wind is blowing in tonight. Don't get that north wind all that often this time of the year in Oklahoma. We'll take it. It's been a beautiful day. But without that wind, you think Kaylee Clifton's ball would have left? Not quite?
I don't think it had enough height. You saw it take off. It had that backspin. But, I mean, that was an absolute just line drive, square on the nose. You couldn't hit it any better.
No. See the freshman Lions batting .315. Grew up a baseball player. And the 0-2 down low.
You don't hear that very often.
You do not. Been talking with Patty Gasso about, well, what does that mean? What are the adjustments? With baseball, bigger bases, you got more time to make throws from short. It's about speeding things up without getting sloppy with it.
She has adjusted well.
Yes. The 1-2 is upstairs.
With all of the travel softball teams, and I mean, it's not very often you hear, young women growing up playing baseball. It's awesome.
Yeah, there's so many outlets available for young girls to play softball. 2-2 off the end of the bat, kind of slowly hit to Gregory, and she's not going to have a play. Well, that was kind of a cap shot there. And the slow roll on that ball allowed Lyons to make first base, and the Sooners have a 3-0 lead.
And Gregory fumbled it, trying to get it out of her glove there a little bit. And we're seeing some of these errors catch up with North Texas here a bit in the first.
43rd error charge to the mean green. That's Gregory's 14th. It does make you appreciate how flawlessly the Sooners play defense.
When you've got as strong of a pitching staff as the Sooners have, you add to that a defense who is third in the country. I mean, that makes it tough team to beat.
3-0. 4 hits and now an error. A little pop-up back to the pitcher, Troutwine. Inning over. 3 runs, 4 hits, and an error, and a big start for the Sooners in the first. It's 3-0 Oklahoma. Sooner softball is presented by Budweiser. Beautiful evening at Marita Hines Field here in Norman. Alongside the former Sooner DJ Mathis, I'm Chad McKee. Your series history between these teams is presented by OU Extended Campus. Degrees online, on site, on your schedule. Become the tradition. Visit pacs.ou.edu. It's been all Oklahoma. 29-0 in this series. It's the Sooners' 3rd longest winning streak against another Division I team. And they are off to a 3-0 lead here tonight.
It takes quite a few years to rack up 29.
Especially, you play once, maybe twice a year. It's not as though it's a Big 12 conference opponent where you're going to play 3 times a year and then maybe in the conference championship, too. Taylor Evans, the cleanup batter, leads things off. Lopez throws it past her. It's 1-1. Evans, a freshman out of Collinsville, Texas, batted .857 in their 3-game series with UTEP last weekend. Strike 2. Some elevated fastballs here from Lopez.
And she's having a lot of success upstairs. North Texas coming out. They're coming out aggressive. You got to hand it to them. They're coming out aggressive and putting some good swings on them, but they're really having a hard time laying off anything chest and above, and Mariah's really taking advantage of it.
That one upstairs. 2-2.
It's always tough. You see that elevated pitch and your eyes get huge thinking that, that it's continuing to go out of the zone. If you can't zone down and lay off that up pitch, you're really going to have a rough night.
Strikeout number 2 for Mariah Lopez. That is 261 strikeouts for this staff.
How many games do we have left?
Well, you said it in the open, and I think the easiest way to put it is there are 21 outs in a regulation game. All 3 of these Sooner regular pitchers are averaging better than 10 strikeouts per game. So half of the outs are strikeouts. That's not just difficult to manufacture offense, it's demoralizing.
Yeah, and it's, you're putting the ball in play, you're trying to make adjustments. That's one thing. It's going to fall. I'm hitting the ball well, we're seeing it well, they're going to fall. Or applying pressure to a defense, as we kind of saw the Sooners do in the first inning. But if you're not putting the ball in play, it makes it tough to manufacture anything. And as many strikeouts as we're seeing, and as good as this defense is, I mean, there's no room to breathe for these offenses.
And as we say that, it's 0-2 on Hannah Gerke.
Or also Lopez, she, again, working ahead in the count. Every batter she has faced, she has gotten to 2 strikes, 0-2, 1-2 almost immediately.
And there's her 3rd strikeout. Back-to-back strikeouts, in fact, here to start the 2nd.
Love seeing her take advantage of that rise ball. You just see it start low in the zone, tail up, and right now these hitters are having a hard time laying off anything up in the zone.
Base is empty and 2 gone for Jenna Goodrich, the designated player for the Mean Green tonight. And Lopez just taking care of her business, firing a strike through there.
Now it's fun to play behind. You know, your pitcher comes out, here it is, hit it. It's, you know, working ahead.
It's easy to play behind.
Yes.
Only half the batters are putting the ball in play.
That is true.
And 0-2 just like that.
So, I mean, as a pitcher, you get programmed, work ahead, work ahead. And again, it's one thing working ahead 1-2, 2-2, but I mean, she is not wasting any time. We're seeing all of these 0-2 counts, so she's in the zone tonight.
That was close.
That was a good miss. You see working up and then going for that down and low and away corner.
Very politically stated on your part as well, DJ. That was a good miss. A ball and 2 strikes here to Goodrich. Swing and a miss. She strikes out the side, and that's 4 strikeouts total for Mariah Lopez. She is dealing, and the Sooner offense has gotten her 3 runs. They'll try to add to it when we return to Marita Hines Field. Off we go. Bottom of the 2nd. Sooners lead 3-0. First pitch to Reagan Rogers is down and away from Hope Troutwine. Reagan Rogers night. When you're a senior in this Sooner softball program, you don't just get senior night. Each senior gets her own night. And Rogers turns on this one foul into the left field corner.
That's pretty cool, and it's unique. There's not a lot of programs who do that. You know, it gives them, like you said, it's a Reagan Rogers night.
It's a little bit of pressure. I mean, you've got a homer or have a 3-hit night. The 1-1 ground ball just eludes the glove of Lacey Gregory. Well, how about a base hit to start Reagan Rogers night?
We're seeing, again, we've seen a lot of balls go to the left side of the field tonight. And that up in the zone as well. Just snuck right on by Gregory. Good start to her senior night.
Jocelyn Allo singled and scored back in the 1st. First pitch just drove one into right. Have not seen the home run ball yet. Kaylee Clifton hit one off the wall and was held to a single. Hit the ball as hard as you'll see all night long. Well, I don't know. Jocelyn Allo, I don't put anything out of the realm of her power.
A lot of game left. I think we got a shot to see one fly here tonight.
She's 9 out of her last 16.
Add it to the, you know, it's 1 through 9. It's just, you've got to love the consistency.
2 balls and no strikes to Jocelyn. Shot back up the middle, diving in. The center fielder Young makes the catch. Rogers races back to first safely. So Jocelyn lines out to Kenzie Young for the first out. I
think good play right there. You kind of looked like it was knuckling a little bit. It was hit so hard. If that falls, that can be, you know, Reagan Rogers going first to third. So good base running on her part, but good play there as well. But that ball, again, it's an out in the book, but that ball was squared up.
Yeah, you will look at that and think it was a fly ball to center.
Yep.
But that was knuckling,
yes,
hit on a line, and if it gets past Kenzie Young, there's a chance you see Reagan Rogers score from first.
Oh, yeah. And again, she had a great jump, great read on the ball, but
One hopper right back to Troutwine, and she turns and gets the out with the second baseman, McCauley. Kind of a close play out there. John O'Melia, our second base umpire, on the call. 2 down.
Troutwine kind of saw off a little bit. Every now and then, a couple of these even hits have been, in on some of these hitters' hands. And I think that's where she's trying to find some success. Get in on their hands, try to change speeds. That's how she's been successful so far this season.
That one runs in and hits Fala Palima Aviu. And Romero goes down to second base on the hit by pitch. No harm, no foul. And now Kaylee Clifton has a chance to drive in a run.
And Clifton seeing the ball so well right now. You get the gift with that ball that's lined up to center. You have your center fielder making a great play. Get kind of a ground ball, get that lead out. The last thing you want to do is hit the next batter, put a runner in scoring position to face someone like Kaylee Clifton.
Strike one to Kaylee Clifton. Told you about her being the Big 12 Conference Player of the Week this week. First time she's gotten it, which is surprising. 500 last week, 9 runs, 7 runs driven in the Sooners' trip out to the Los Angeles area last week. The 0-1 pitch foul outside of third. Good to take the team out to California, such a fertile recruiting ground for Patty Gasso, being a Cali girl. She got to go back home.
And so many great Sooners have come out of that state as well. And with Coach, like you said, huge hotbed of recruiting for this program for many, many years. So it's always exciting to go back. And to go back and have the week that they did is even makes the cherry on top for the week.
1-2 to Kaylee Clifton. She singled off the left field wall, driving in Alo, and then came around to score. Fouled out of play.
Troutwine, really, a lot of her pitches we've seen and have been elevated in the zone, and it's not fooling any of these Sooner hitters. They're recognizing it. They're staying on top of the ball, and we're seeing a lot of these these elevated pitches that are up in the zone be hit very, very hard. We see another one there. And Clifton didn't look fooled at all. Kind of the same thing there with the off-speed pitch. I mean, these hitters are just zoned in and seeing the ball well. They're not getting fooled by pitches out of the zone. They're not getting fooled by the off-speed pitch.
Romero at second. Aviu at first. Up and in. Glances off the glove of Achotnicki, and the runners will each move up a base.
At this point, with 2 outs, the Sooners have done a good job. They went from 2 outs, no runners in scoring position. Now we've got 2 outs, runners on second and third, with an opportunity for Clifton here to kind of, put a couple more on the board here early.
The pitch was ruled a wild pitch, moving the runners up. 2-2 here to Kaylee Clifton. First base open. And Grace Green in the on-deck circle. Foul out of play down the left field line.
Just tough at bats, starting 0-2, 1-2 here to Clifton. We're seeing foul ball after foul ball after foul ball. That makes it tough on a pitcher. It's kind of going, all right, I've thrown my best. I've tried off speed. I've tried going in. I've tried the rise ball. And Clifton just getting rid of every single one until she finds one that she wants.
And she takes ball 4.
What a great at-bat. Working the count all the way back, down in the count, working all the way back and drawing the walk.
That's not the one that everybody's going to talk about at the end of the game, but if it leads to a generating of an inning here, it could be huge.
Yeah, especially with 2 outs. Again, you get the ground ball early, and then you breathe a little bit. Now all of a sudden we've got 2 outs, bases loaded with the heart of the lineup up.
Green singled and scored in the first. Romero at third. Aviu at second. And Kaylee Clifton at first. To right field, well hit, Rebar back, running and makes the catch, running into the right field corner. Inning over. Sooners leave them loaded, but they'll take a 3-0 lead to the top of the third when we come back. Sooner softball is presented by Budweiser. See Campus Corner there on a beautiful day in Norman. We welcome you back to Marita Hines Field, where the Sooners lead at 3-0. Top of the third coming your way, and the lower third of the lineup. Rebar, Achotnicki, and Young to face Mariah Lopez. Struck out the side in the second.
And so far, and again, we're just now making our way through the bottom of the lineup, first time through, but you know, we're in the third. We're going to have to start seeing some adjustments here. We're yet to see any adjustments by these mean green hitters.
1-1, skied out into center field. Nicole Mendez. The wind is blowing this back toward the infield, but she sticks with it, makes the catch. Mendez coming a long way for that ball.
And you kind of saw it hang up there for a while, and as beautiful as it is, I think it's deceptive how much the wind is kind of blowing in today. You know, it looked like a routine fly ball to center field, and she's almost wound up being a pop-up to the shortstop.
61 degrees and that north wind cooling things off. Nicole Achotnicki, the catcher, junior from Cedar Park, Texas. 1-1 the count.
This defense, again, Lopez has not thrown very many pitches. She's got the strikeouts right now, but again, hammering the zone, throwing a ton of strikes. You know, she's at 29 pitches so far.
So if you were adjusting to her as a hitter, what would you try?
You know, right now, she's having a lot of success up in the zone. And these hitters so far for North Texas have not been able to lay off. Make her bring the ball back down. So she's kind of going after them and having a lot of success, working ahead early, getting them to chase the rise ball up in the zone, and then finishing them down and away. You have to zone off one of them. If you're going after both, it's going to be a tough night. And at this point, we haven't seen a lot of change in speed. So when she starts bringing that in, that's another thing to start worrying about. So they're going to have to start adjusting here and finding one, zoning down, working and focusing on one part of the plate and attacking from there, as opposed to trying to protect and chasing that rise ball out of the zone.
3-2 pitch, fouled back. Sooners will open Big 12 Conference play out in Lubbock against Texas Tech this weekend.
Exciting to see Texas Tech having a better season. They've struggled here. The program has struggled here in the last few years, and they've really come on strong, gotten themselves some really good wins here this season. So it ought to be a great series to open up Big 12.
In fact, they beat this North Texas team a couple of times. That's lined out of play by Achotnicki. It's the first of a 9-game road trip for North Texas.
That's tough. That can be tough. That's being on the road for almost 2 weeks.
This one into shallow center field. Got to communicate here, and that one falls in the Bermuda Triangle. Caught? Did Mendez catch that?
She did
catch that.
She hung with it. I tell you what, that got a little bit miscommunication there a little bit, but Mendez hanging with it. Clifton you know, as an infielder, you go, 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 go until you hear your outfielder. Your outfielder has the call late, and you could see Clifton kind of veer off as soon as she heard Mendez. So as much as it kind of looked like the communication was off,
Romero dives on that one and throws out Kenzie Young. The inning is over. We'll let you finish the explanation after the break. How about that?
It was a great catch. We'll go with that.
Perfectly put. 1-2-3 inning for Mariah Lopez. She's faced the minimum through her first 3 innings in the circle tonight, and the Sooners lead the Mean Green 3-0. Night. Women's gymnastics hosting the Big 12 championships over at the Lloyd Noble Center. Another busy weekend here on this campus. Just get yourself a hotel room for about 3 nights.
Spring break in Norman.
Spring break. Come see everything. Baseball team, Skip Johnson's guys winning out in Albuquerque 8-6 today. Connor McKenna drove in 3 runs. They are 18-4 entering conference play. Great start for Skip and the Sooners. First pitch bunted foul. Nicole Mendez single, driving in Kaylee Clifton with a second Sooner run back in the first.
You see Mendez trying to lay down that bunt for a hit, fouled it back a little bit. When we talked to Coach Gasso before the game, I think hard to find a lot of things wrong with what these Sooners have been doing the last couple weeks, but wanting to see bunts get down a bit better.
This one has popped up. The shortstop Gregory takes care of the first out. You're right. Nitpicking was kind of the word. If you get on everything, then it seems like you are nitpicking. But bunting was an area of emphasis for Coach Gasso. Grace Lyons is the batter. Bouncer to Gregory. She's had a busy night.
She has.
2 up and 2 down.
Trevor is starting to settle down a little bit.
What's different about her?
You know, she's in the zone a little bit more, but we're seeing her use her pitches. You know, these Sooner hitters are now kind of starting to hit her pitches. She's starting to hit her spots a little bit more. We're starting to see her on the corners. It makes it a little bit more difficult. I mean, even the outs, the first couple innings were hard outs. Now we're starting to see the Sooners hit the ball a little bit, which means she's hitting spots a little bit more.
Lindsey Elam skies this one behind the plate. Achutnicki, the catcher, makes the catch. Quick 1-2-3 inning for Hope Troutwine. 3-0 Sooners, moving to the 4th in Newman. And Sooner softball is presented in part by Budweiser. Mariah Lopez so far 4 strikeouts and has faced the minimum through 3 innings.
And she is absolutely dealing. She's working all quadrants of the zone. And again, we haven't seen her have to use the off speed much yet, you know, and we're only 1 time through this lineup. So you start bringing that in. She still has some things in her pocket that she hasn't quite pulled out yet.
Primary 3 pitchers for the Sooners, each in the top 15 in strikeouts per 7 innings, led by Shannon Sale, who leads the country, striking out better than 13 batters per 7 innings.
That's tough. That's tough. You know, you think about it in perspective. In 21 outs in 1 game, I mean, that's striking out every other batter, close to. I mean, it just makes it hard to get any momentum. And if you have, this is a game of momentum. And if you can't ever generate anything, you can't ever manufacture anything, it makes it really, really tough to get anything rolling, get in a groove offensively.
Riley McCowie grounded out to the shortstop, Grace Lyons, her first time. The 1-2 is upstairs.
We're seeing still working up in the zone. And again, these North Texas hitters going through this lineup the second time, they're really going to have to zone down and lay off that pitch that they're seeing up in their eyes.
3-2. Mariah Lopez started the season by earning back-to-back Big 12 Pitcher of the Week honors. Had her second career no-hitter against Florida Atlantic earlier this year. Struck out 13 in that one. And she struck out 13 last week against UCSB. Payoff pitch is foul back.
You can see her getting better and as the season goes on. You know, she's out here right now, gets the ball, she's working quickly and just going to work. It's confident, it's quick, and, you know, it just gives a good pace for the game. But again, you can tell this defense, too, part of the flow that they've got is by the pace that Mariah's setting.
And there's her 5th strikeout. She catches McCauley looking to begin the 4th.
That's a great pitch. Got the curveball right there on the corner and just froze her. You know, I think you had to say it 3-2, almost looking for that walk there, but what a great spot.
Harley Perella struck out back in the 1st. Showing bunt.
Trying to do anything at this point to get something going. Try to show the bunt, find a way on base right now. Haven't had a lot of success. We're in the 4th. Haven't had a lot of success swinging the bat.
Perella's riding a 6-game hitting streak, batting 7 of 20 over that span. Played 35 games a year ago before a lower leg injury that sidelined her for the year. Senior from Frisco. The 1-1. Of course, she's going to spot that. Good luck.
And that curveball, it's right there on the black of the plate in the river. That is a tough pitch to hit. You've got to be on time. You've got to take it to the opposite side of the field. There it is again. That's such a great pitch. The height there at the knee, that is a tough pitch to hit.
Two balls and 2 strikes to Harley Perella. Lacey Gregory is on deck. Part of the order approaching the plate for the Mean Green here in the 4th. 2-2, swung on and missed. That was up around her eyes and inside and just tough to lay off.
You can just see the setup. You know, you're working on the outside corner, getting her leaning, and then coming back up and in with that rise ball. It's very, you can see the game plan and the maturity.
6 strikeouts for Mariah Lopez. She works to Lacey Gregory, who grounded to short her first time.
A little bit of an off speed there. Again, haven't had to use it much, but it's kind of good to see her start bringing it out a little bit, continue to keep these North Texas hitters off balance.
The 0-1 in the air to center. Well hit. Mendez back near the warning track, but makes the catch. Inning over. 4 straight 1-2-3 innings for Mariah Lopez. She carries a 3-0 lead to the bottom of the 4th. 3-0 Sooners on top, and they're back to the bats in the bottom of the 4th inning on Reagan Rogers' night. She had a base hit her first time, and here she is again, fouling one out of play. So many options that Patty Gasso has that she can throw in there. She's giving the night off to Shay Knighton this evening before the start of conference play.
It's to have that depth and to be able to also have the confidence in some of your younger players to put them in there on any given night and they expect to get the job done. You know, you hear a lot of programs having rebuilding years. OU does not have rebuilding years. They reload and keep going.
1-1 to Rogers, misses. Reagan Rogers batted .319 a year ago in 53 games. .302 this year. 3 home runs. Lines this one deep to left, and it's gone. On Reagan Rogers' night, Reagan Rogers have a night. A home run, her 4th of the year. That's the way you're supposed to do it when it's your night.
Who gets to keep that ball? That ball's got to go back to Reagan Rogers on Reagan Rogers' night.
Might have to hop off the air and make sure that makes its way to its proper owner.
Gotta love that. I mean, that down and in, and it wasn't a sailing home run. That was a hard hit line drive.
Sooner home runs are presented by Riverwind. Still the one. Well, there you go again.
There you go.
Well, you don't think of her as a home run hitter, but she has certainly proven otherwise this season.
And she has just such a good swing. The mechanics are so good. And, you know, pitch choice with what she does. She finds the pitch that she can drive. And, you know, you don't always have to look like the big home run hitter to, if you have a mechanically sound swing and are able to, you know, get rid of pitches until you can find that one to drive. Again, we kind of just saw it there with Reagan Rogers.
4 home runs, 11 runs batted in now for Reagan Rogers. And plate umpire Jason Kemper is motioning something toward the Sooner dugout.
Surely they're not getting rowdy on Reagan Rogers night.
Just having fun. Jocelyn Alo is 1 for 2. Singled and scored a run back in the first inning. And it's not out of the ordinary to move your home run hitter up to the leadoff spot. Patty Gasso certainly did that some with Lauren Chamberlain.
Yeah, and you think about it too, and it's only the first inning of the game, but that's the first hitter that the opposing pitcher has to face.
Right, I was thinking about
you
that.
know?
A player that hit 30 home runs
Yes.
last year is the first one that I have to
Let's
face.
start the game with her. Come and get it. You know, it's just, it applies pressure and gets them more at bats, being at the top of the lineup. You're going to roll around to that number 1 before you do anybody else.
Perella off balance, throws out Alo for the first out in the 4th.
And all of that, the miss-hit pitches we've seen today, there haven't been that many, but the ones that we have seen have been pitches in that have kind of sawed off some of these Sooner hitters. You know, at this point, Trautwein's had a hard time staying there. We've seen her have a little bit of success, but she hasn't consistently been able to stay there. And
Sid Romero 0 for 2. He's hit 2 ground ball outs tonight. One now to Romero.
We were kind of talking about having Alo in the leadoff, you know, and right behind her you have a hitter like Sydney Romero. It's just that you never have a break, and you're not even to the 3, 4, 5 of that lineup yet.
In the air to center field. Late jump there for Young, but she comes in and tracks it down. 2 down. Yeah, 1 and 2 in the lineup. Hit 42 home runs between them a year ago.
Yeah, and that's, again, there's no break. You start the lineup and you go there, and then you go right into a view in Clifton. I mean, there's so much power up and down. But on top of that, too, you have the speed. They might lay down a bunt. I mean, it's...
Pick your poison.
Yes, there's so many tools there, it makes it hard to defend.
Wally Aviu hit by a pitch back in the 2nd and flied out to the left fielder Gerke in the 1st. Reagan Rogers has homered here in the inning.
Trautwein came back well, you know, started the inning with the home run by Rogers and then got 2 quick outs. You know, she's shown some really good things. You know, has gotten in trouble at times, but has also bounced back well. We're starting to see her change speeds more here in the 4th.
The home run, the Sooners' first extra base hit of the night. Aviu lifts this one foul. Wind's going to help take this one onto the top of the Sooner dugout. 2-1 to Fale Aviu. Oceanside, California native. Why do names of California towns seem to sound better than a lot of other places?
They do. Where is Beachfront, Oklahoma?
There's not one on Lake Eufaula or Lake Tenkiller beachfront, Oklahoma. Rancho Santa Margarita, Rancho Cucamonga, Shawnee. That's my hometown, so I can say that.
There's a beach there, right?
Yeah, somewhere. Didn't find it, but I'm told. 2-2, and it bounces up to Foley. Full count. If she could work her way aboard, just extend the inning a little bit. Sometimes that's all this offense needs.
Yeah, and just not allowing Troutwine to make quick work. You know, she gave up the home run to start the inning, but then not letting her off the hook with 3 quick outs.
Well, there you go. Base hit by Foley.
And that's big. Again, extend the inning. Keep applying pressure. You know, and a good at-bat, working the count until she got one that she could drive. And again, we haven't seen a ton of extra base hits. We've seen one, but all of these singles have been hard hit singles.
That extends it for Kaylee Clifton. Kaylee had an RBI single and scored a run in the first, and then she walked in the second.
And that single she hit was off the left field wall.
Up on that one, and it's 2-0.
Troutwine's thrown quite a few pitches. You know, she's getting quick outs at times, but we're starting to see her work behind in the count a little bit. Giving these Sooners more pitches to look at. Again, you work behind in the count, you've got to not come into the zone more often. She starts to do that, we're going to start probably seeing these Sooners get on her a little bit more than they already have.
2-1 the count to Kaylee Clifton. Wayne, Oklahoma native. Pulls this one off the glove of the third baseman Perella. Racing for third goes Foley of View. And Kaylee Clifton will stop at second base. Here comes that offense again.
Well, they're doing it with 2 outs. You know, we saw it a couple of innings ago, loading the bases with 2 outs. We didn't get the outcomes necessarily that we're looking for, but 2 outs, putting runners in scoring position, not letting North Texas get back in the dugout.
Now Grace Green. Have not seen the scoring on that one just yet. Hit or error.
That's a tough play to the backhand, I think, and I can't quite tell. I think it went off her gloves. I think the play could have been made.
There's a rocket into center field. Aviu scores. Right behind her comes Clifton. 2-run single for Grace Green. 6-0 Oklahoma.
We have seen some hard hit balls here tonight. Again, that pitch was right down the middle, and Green made her pay. She took it right back where it came from. So, all of these singles, all these base hits, they have not just been base hits. I mean, these have been some hard hit balls that we have seen here tonight.
Pitching change for the Mean Green as the night is done for Hope Troutwine. Sooners lead 6-0. Reagan Rogers. It is Reagan Rogers' night. And she did this to start the inning. Her 4th home run of the season. That gave Oklahoma the 4-0 lead. It's now 6-0. We'll tell you about the new pitcher when we come back.
Coca-Cola and OU Medicine.
Jenna Goodrich is the new pitcher for the Mean Green. Welcome back to Marita Hines Field. Hope Troutwine, 3 2/3 innings, 9 hits, 6 runs to this point. Grace Green is at first. Mendez takes that one inside.
We're going to see a little bit of a different look here with Goodrich. She is not a power pitcher. She has seen quite a few innings so far this year, but she is not a power pitcher. She relies on her defense to get outs. and tries to pitch to contact.
This one is slashed foul into the left field corner. Goodrich is a transfer from Georgia Tech. Spent 2 years there. The Florida Gatorade Player of the Year back in 2015 out of David, Florida. Reagan Rogers a home run. Grace Green a 2-run base hit for the Sooners here in this inning.
And although, other than the home run, we're seeing these runs come in with 2 outs. And, you know, manufacturing, getting things done with 2 outs. And just when a defense, when a pitcher kind of thinks they can breathe a little bit and get some quick outs, get back in the dugout, here come the Sooners putting the base runners on and then capitalizing with 2 outs.
How about 6 for 10 with 2 outs?
Yeah.
The Sooners tonight. 3-1. Ball 4 outside.
That's not the start you want coming in from the bullpen. Scooter's just going to need to find the zone here.
It's cliche and overstated probably somewhat, but there are just no easy outs. You get Sidney Romero to line out to center field. You get 2 strikes on Folly of View, and she comes through with a base hit. All of a sudden, that leads to Clifton and Green, and now Mendez walks as Lyons fouls this one off.
It's constant pressure. There's no breathing room. You know, you get Reagan Rogers in the 9-hole leading off the inning with a home run. You know, it's
yeah, you're worried about Allo on deck hitting a home run, and lo and behold, Rogers does that before you can blink.
Yeah, so there's just no, and again, we were talking earlier about the depth, and that's just in the starting 9. I mean, all of the hitters who can come in at any given time. There's just no breathing room. You've got to show up each day, especially in the circle when you are facing the Sooner lineup, and have your best stuff. If you don't, they are going to make you pay.
Sooners are 25-2. Their only losses to top-ranked Florida State and number 2 at the time, UCLA. They've won 40 straight games here on this field. Pitch upstairs to Lyons. Grace 0 for 2. Reached on an error in the first and then grounded out to the shortstop Gregory in the third.
You know, and you hate to look ahead because, you know, even right now we've got half of the game to go, but it's going to be exciting for Big 12 play, exciting for some of these things to come over here in the next few weeks.
Well, Goodrich comes out of the bullpen and strikes out Grace Lyons to end the inning. 3 more runs on 4 hits. 6-0 Sooners headed to the 5th. Six-0 Sooners. Mariah Lopez has yet to allow a base runner to the mean green as she fires away to Taylor Evans, who struck out back in the second. 6 strikeouts for Mariah Lopez. Struck out the side in the second. Evans was the first victim there. And the 1-0 misses away.
Yeah, she has just been rolling so far. You know, we're seeing the strikeouts. We've seen Mendez get quite a bit of action out there in center field today, but we're seeing her use her pitches. She's getting the strikeouts, but also throwing some really good pitches and getting these hitters to miss-hit her pitches.
Time called by Lindsey Elam, who goes out to visit with Lopez. A 3-0 count, the first one we've had tonight. Sooners got Giselle Juarez, a 5-inning perfect game against Loyola Marymount, her first perfect game and the 13th in Sooner history. Last was by Paige Parker back in 2015.
And that's just so cool to be a part of. You know, how many games, all of the games that have been played in this program, for there to only be a handful, you know, of perfect games, to be able to be a part of that, it's a pretty neat thing for Juarez, but the entire team, you know, to be able to be a part of that.
How many were you a part of?
I think 1. But I don't think it was by me. But
you were a part of it.
Yeah, and you remember it. It's cool, you know, and you're so excited to see your teammates, you know, have that and that perfection. You know, that's what you strive for, and you reach it very, very few times.
The 3-2. Oh, ball 4.
That's a good pitch.
There's G. Juarez, the Big 12 pitcher of the week, over there charting pitches in the dugout. So that's the first base runner for the Mean Green.
We haven't. You see the stats there for G, 18-0.
Hannah Gerke swings, hits this one right to Kaylee Clifton. Double play, 2 down.
And that's the way you respond. You know, first base runner of the game, coming out working 3 straight balls, trying to work your way back, and then you throw the great pitch right there, get her in on her hands, and be able to get those 2 quick outs. So, you know, as much as you hate to see the leadoff walk, the response is what you're after and what you look for.
Sooners have turned 8 double plays. Bases empty, 2 gone. Jenna Goodrich struck out back in the second. The 0-1 blisters it right past her.
And now we're back to those 0-2 counts. She's had success all day, getting early strikes, quick strikes, and kind of seeing her kind of settle back in now, finding the zone and getting back to what she's been doing all day.
Mariah Lopez is 0-2, right back to her, inning over. She gives up the walk, but gets a double play and faces the minimum. 5th inning stretch at Marita Hines Field. The home team on top, 6-0. Alongside the former Sooner DJ Mathis, I'm Chad McKee. Sun setting on what's been a gorgeous day. Spring break in progress here in the state of Oklahoma, and the fans have filled Marita Hines Field as Oklahoma pursues a 42nd consecutive home win. To the 5th we go. Aaliyah Flores will lead things off. She's batting for Lindsey Elam in the number 8 spot. Aaliyah, the sophomore from Colton, California, all Big 12 freshman team last year. This is the 27th game in which she's played, batting .273. No homers and 6 runs batted in.
It's a good opportunity again, the midweek game, going out to Lubbock this weekend to be able to get at-bats, get opportunities for some of the players who aren't in the starting lineup.
One to Flores is outside. Sooner offense leads the country in batting average, .365 coming into the day. 3rd in runs per game, 7.63 per game. Yes, that's nearly enough runs to post a run rule every time they play. There's a shot off the net in front of the Sooner dugout.
I think I'm sitting here going, I'm like, thinking about that stat. You know, usually you put up 5 or 6 runs in a game, you expect to win the game. That's under the amount of runs. It's just being that close to, like you said, the run roll every game. It's impressive.
2-2. Full count. Jenna Goodrich got the final out in relief of Hope Troutwine in the 4th. That one bounces up and at Aaliyah Flores, who takes first to start the 5th.
That's a good at-bat. Coming in, pinch hit, and getting the leadoff walk, working the count.
You see 41 straight wins here at Marita Hines Field. It is the 2nd longest streak in program history. The longest was nearly 2 years in the making.
That's pretty cool to think about. It's been we're coming up on almost 2 years. You know, it's a long time. You know, there are some sophomores who are here who have never lost a game on this field.
Reagan Rogers homered her last time up. 2 for 2 tonight.
Goodrich having a little bit of problem here finding the zone. We've seen her kind of come in. She got the out last inning, but also working behind in counts. And that makes it difficult. It makes it difficult to throw your pitches when you're continually missing spots, working 2-0, 2-1. You've got to go in and sometimes not go with your best stuff, and that makes it difficult.
Jamie Allred is the pitching coach for the Mean Green. Pretty lengthy conversation here with Jenna Goodrich.
You know, this staff for North Texas, I know the Sooners have put up 6 runs, but this staff has overall done a really pretty good job so far this season. Not allowing a ton of runs. So
2-0 pitch. And now 3-0 to Reagan Rogers.
You know, and it's tough. You know, you talk about, I continue to talk about pitchers, pet peeve of mine, pitchers working behind the count. But, you know, it makes it tougher. The umpire's not seeing a lot of strikes, you know, so you're not going to get that borderline call.
And there is ball 4 to Rogers. Back-to-back walks to start the 5th. And Jocelyn Alo comes to the plate.
And this is where we were talking earlier about Alo being in the leadoff. You have the bottom of your lineup doing their job, getting on base, and then you have Alo coming up in that leadoff spot with your 8-9, you know, runners in scoring position. You know, when your 7, 8, 9 are doing their job and getting on base, and you've got Alo in the leadoff, you know, she's pretty much coming in as a 3 or 4 hitter.
Now, this is where you would have her a lot of times anyway. The number 3 spot in the lineup. And here she is with 2 aboard. Looks like the Mean Green will be making a change of some sort here. How'd you like to be a freshman? Yeah, we're going to go on the road, face the number 2 team in the country. And then at some point, you're going to face a player who homered 30 times last year with 2 runners aboard. Now go get them.
Throw them in the fire. That's no, it's, you know, it is a good opportunity too for Tyndall to come out here, and she's seen some innings. She hasn't seen tons of innings so far this season, but good opportunity for her to come out here and potentially get her team, you know, back in the dugout. Number 78,
Jocelyn Alo.
Jocelyn Alo, the batter. She singled and scored in the first, has lined to center and grounded to third. And Tyndall, not backing down, delivers a strike.
Kind of saw that look on Alo's face. She kind of cringed a little bit, I think, letting that pitch go by.
The 0-1 line down the right field line off the indoor facility. See if that gets stuck. Nope.
Nope. Souvenir.
0-2 to Alo.
You got to give it to Tyndall coming in here. 2 quick strikes.
And the 0-2 down and away. Troutwine, the starter, went 3 2/3 and gave 6 runs, 5 earned on 9 hits. Goodrich not yet responsible for a run, but the base runners out there are her responsibility. The 1-2 to Alo. Ripped off the front of the Sooner dugout. You hear the crowd gasp. Fortunately, there is net in front of that dugout. Mariah Lopez pointing in there at fellow pitcher Parker Conrad.
That's a scary thing. I mean, those nets is, now the rule across the country is for all dugouts to have nets.
Alo down the right field line. Fair ball. It rattles into the corner. Flores has scored. Rogers will get the stop sign on what would have been the run rule run. And Alo has her second hit and first run batted in of the night. It's 7-0.
Just going. Tyndall has stayed on that outside corner, staying away from Alo, and she is geared up, just taking that pitch the other way. And again, nearly every base hit we have seen tonight has been an absolute rocket.
And both of Alo's have been to right field.
Yeah, and she's just a seasoned hitter. I mean, you watch her, she makes adjustments in the middle of her at-bat. She's just a seasoned, mature hitter.
Now the Sooners have the run rule run at third base with nobody out here in the fifth for Sydney Romero. Fly ball to center. Back on the ball goes Young. She'll make the nope. It's out of her glove. In to cross the plate comes Reagan Rogers. 8-0 Sooners. And Oklahoma has won on a run rule in the fifth. That was probably going to do it even if she catches it.
Yeah,
sacrifice fly.
Yeah, that was deep enough. And again, Romero just doing her job. You know, she got the base hit out of it because there was a little bit of a misplay there. But again, doing her job, finding something she can lift and get deep enough to get the sac fly.
It has scored a base hit, and so she extends her hitting streak to 14 straight games. Does Sid Romero. Sooners win it 8-0. That is 13 run rules and 14 shutouts. It is also a no-hitter thrown by Mariah Lopez tonight, the second one she has thrown this season and the third of her career. A little bit of everything. We welcome you into the Sooner Softball postgame show brought to you by Budweiser. Enjoy responsibly, proud partner of Oklahoma Athletics. So a little bit of everything. Jocelyn Alo with a pair of base hits. She drives in a run. Grace Green, 2 runs batted in. And there are no easy outs in this lineup. But on Reagan Rogers' night, for her to hit a home run, DJ, is pretty special.
You can't draw it up any better than that, you know. Starting off the inning, being able to hit the bomb, it's exciting to see. Those are the things you can't write it. So it's pretty cool to see a senior on her senior night be able to get the home run and have a great outing.
So how about Lopez? Throws the no-hitter tonight. 5 innings of shutout ball. Gave up just the 1 walk late in the game. Let's recap how this one unfolded tonight as the Sooners got on the board in the bottom of the first inning. It was Kaylee Clifton's RBI single that drove in Jocelyn Alo as she smashed that one off the left field wall, and it was 1-0. Then Nicole Mendez, an RBI single that scores Kaylee Clifton 2-0. There was an error charge right here on a ground ball to short. Grace Lyons hit that, and that scored Grace Green and made it 3-0. Bottom of the fourth inning, Reagan Rogers leads off with her 4th home run of the year, and that made it 4-0. Then with the pair aboard, Grace Green with the 2-run single back up the middle, and it was 6-0. You just saw bottom of the 5th inning, an RBI single by Jocelyn Alo. That would be her 2nd base hit of the night. She had a run scored and a run bounded in. And Sid Romero driving this one to center field, extending her hitting streak to 14 consecutive games, driving in Reagan Rogers with what was the run rule run in an 8-0 Sooner win. Alongside DJ Mathis, I'm Chad McKee. Came in talking about Patty Gasso wanting to see execution from her team tonight. That was the main thing going into conference play this weekend. How do you feel about the execution?
Well, you get the no-hitter, you get the run rule. Yeah. Sydney Romero with the 14. I mean, what more can you ask? No, what more can you ask for? We got to see quite a bit of it, and when there was time for the RBI, we got the base hit. So it was good to see a couple things here and there with maybe some runners left on, but short of that, it was pretty flawless.
Timely 2-out hitting. Once again, 6 hits with 2 outs for this team. I believe 6 out of 10 is what they were at the plate. And you see, once again, the versatility. They've got speed. They can single you to death, or they can hit the big fly as Reagan Rogers did tonight.
Yeah, we kind of saw it all over. We saw the home run from Reagan Rogers, but at the same time, too, we weren't seeing doubles all over. They were hard hit, hard fought singles, base hits, and it was 1 through 9.
Taco Mayo brings you your game recap. Taco Mayo, fresh mix, fresh ingredients, built to order. It is a no-hitter for the Sooners. And Mariah Lopez, third of her career, second of the season. 10 hits, 8 runs. The big hero, Reagan Rogers. She goes 2 for 2, hits a home run, and scores the game-winning run. Well, when it's your night, it's your night. On Reagan Rogers' night, it's one that she will not soon forget. Kaylee Clifton goes 2 for 2, the reigning Big 12 Conference Player of the Week. And Oklahoma is full speed ahead, headed into conference play out in Lubbock, Texas. Oklahoma improves to 26-2 on the season. They've won 16 straight games, 9 of those by run rule, and it's now 42 consecutive wins at the home of the Sooners, Marita Hines Field. Oklahoma gets a break of one day before they go out to Lubbock to start Big 12 Conference play. For our great Sooner Sports TV crew and for my partner DJ Mathis, I'm Chad McKee. A no-hitter for Mariah Lopez in Oklahoma's 8-0 win over North Texas. And we'll talk